Hello, my name is Abigail Natali, candidate number 8243. I will be doing a podcast on question 7. The question is, looking back at your preliminary task, what do you feel you have learnt during the process from it to the full product? Looking back on my preliminary task, I believe that the pre-production of the Daydream was the part we were strongest at. Out of all three categories, this included pre-production, production and post-production. We didn't face many problems at the beginning as we broke up what we had to do as soon as we found out all the jobs that had to be done. I believe that a reason for this was our strongest part was because we did equal amount of work each. This meant that we could all pay closer detail to what we were doing and make sure that it was up to a good standard to present. It also helped that we straight away knew what genre, certificate, and we also had an idea of the storyline. This meant we did not waste time thinking about them. From this, I learnt that in my final piece, I should focus more on all the other aspects of the production process in order to ensure that everything is up to the same standard as the pre-production stage. The weakness with our pre-production stage would be the over-the-top ideas. We made the storyline and mise-en-scene too complicated. Therefore, it meant that we had to cut a lot of our ideas out for the production stage of the Daydream. From this, I learnt that I should stop think of what ideas I'm going to do instead of rushing into them, as this proved to cause problems later on as it was too overcomplicated and meant we had to change our storyboard continuously and also whilst filming. A strength which I believe I did was the ability to overcome the obstacles with the actors. We had had little preparation and had not rehearsed. However, we did not spend 3 hours trying to get the scene right, but got straight into it and did it with 2 shots with me and Scott. From this, I learnt that I should make sure that I had backup actors who could do it on very short notice, or make sure that my actors knew 100% that they were free on that day. Also, another weakness, which we couldn't control, was the weather. Our storyline was supposed to be set in summer, however we filmed it during winter. Also, on the day we were filming, it was very windy and cold. This meant we could not spend too long outside, and the wind meant we had to talk extra loud in order to be heard over the wind. Post-production was probably the easiest part of the 3 areas, as it mainly relies on the computer and movie-making software. The post-production also did not take as long as the pre-production and production, as it was almost a summary of the two. We had the storyboard so we knew how to set it out, and we already had the clips and did not have to do any live audio special effects. From this, it helped me plan out the timescale we had to do everything for a real thing. It also meant that I could focus more on the filming than the post-production. I believe we followed the brief well, however we missed out a few duties as the TPSHS specification for this activity is different to the main specification. However, we did not include 2 of the camera angles. If I did it again, I would make sure I wrote down all the shots we had to include and make sure to include them various times to ensure I had included them, in case in one scene it was a close-up instead of an extreme close-up. From this, I learned that I should make sure that we followed the brief 100%. This would ensure that we created our opening titles correctly. As a result of the problems I faced with my preliminary task, I made sure that we had enough time to refilm if need be. This was a good idea as we did have to refilm the garage scene for a final film. We included a simple yet effective intertextual reference, the board in the garage with all the pictures hanging up. This is an intertextual reference to the film Kick-Ass. We also made sure that we followed the brief and made sure that we had included all the camera angles. Our task was different to our trailer as we had to create opening titles instead. This meant we could film over 2 days because the scenes should follow each other, whereas in a trailer we had to include different clips which were out of sequence. Thank you.